my name is Mareme and I'm a young journalist interviewing Senior Technical Advisor for the Zoological Society of London, Heather Koldeway. So, Heather, from a scientific perspective, how important is it that decisions are made at this G7 summit?
It's extremely important that some big, bold decisions are made for the environment and particularly the ocean at this summit. It's a real chance to look at how we can build back better coming out of the pandemic and to set up a planet that is sustainable, good for people's health, for their well-being, for the economy, and good for nature. It's one system, and we need to think collectively about how we can do that.
What's been one of your recent projects to help reduce plastic pollution?
I'll give you two examples that are really different scale and really different places. So one of those is in London, where we've been working to get rid of single-use plastic water bottles. We have healthy water coming out of the tap, and we've looked at it at a city level to say, how do you change a system that for some reason has got very dependent on plastic, 1 billion plastic bottles a year in London, and that's just from water alone, and it obviously a lot of that ends up in our ocean. So we've been changing that system, installing water fountains, having progressive businesses eliminate plastic bottles from what they sell and what they use, and looking at how people can remember to bring their refill bottle on the go. A really simple solution, but you just have to get in the habit. So lots of work on how we go about changing that system. At the other end of the spectrum, I've been working with communities in the Philippines on remote islands that have no way of recycling or waste management. And we've worked with global business to set up supply chains where communities collect those nets and they then get recycled into things like carpet and clothing. And this has been something that's benefited over 64,000 people already, cleaned up their place, improved their economics, and made a healthier planet to live on.
What do you think G7 leaders could do to engage African leaders to reduce the use of plastic in coastal communities?
I think there's two things. Firstly, the G7 countries all use far more plastic per head than they do in African countries.
Yeah.
So the first thing is sorting out their own act. The second thing is our plastic products. Many of those originate from G7 countries and are sent to countries like Africa. That's where we need to start thinking about things like extended producer responsibility. So if a European company makes lots of plastic sachets that end up supplying shampoo to coastal communities in, say, Senegal, and those end up in the ocean, what's the responsibility of that business to sort that out? So we need to start thinking about how the polluters get more involved in what happens to those products and how we can design products in packaging that doesn't impact the ocean, that doesn't destroy it for wildlife and for people.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much for talking to me.
Thank you, I really enjoyed our conversation today.
Me too.